In fact, the issue today, national dialogue on state policing, is very critical. But one thing is that we don't need to debate on whether we should have state police or not. I think that matter has been concluded. The issue is the operations of the police. I operated at the state level for 8 years, deputy governor, governor, then came to the center, vice president, president for another 8 years. And I know that in Bayelsa State and other states that attempted to have some element of security operatives that assisted the police, it worked very well. In Bayelsa State, when we took over, the state was almost ungovernable. Abdul Salami will remember that when the elections were to be conducted in December 1999, Colonel Edo will be then wrote to you saying the security situation in Bayelsa State was so bad that couldn't guarantee elections in December 98. So our elections were pushed to January 99. When we took over, the state was in crisis. Niger Delta agitation was there, but criminal elements were also operating all the creeks and were doing all kinds of havoc to market women and others. Until Alamesia, then my boss, has to set up the Bayelsa volunteers that work with police. And we had to build stations around the critical parts of the creeks. And the boys volunteered to work with the police since they couldn't carry weapons. And that brought the excessive piracy down. So there's no way we can manage our internal security if states will not have their police. So the issue is not states having police, but how will the state police function vis-a-vis the national security architecture? When I set up the 2014 National Dialogue, within that period, we have a lot of challenges in the country. People were agitating so many areas. But when we set up that dialogue, one thing that the whole almost 500 delegates agreed without much ado was the issue of state police. When that matter came up, everybody supported the issue of state police. So we cannot move away from state police. I remember the issue of state police was accepted. The issue of national border force was also accepted. Then the issue of Coast Guard was also accepted. And the National Assembly, while you are debating or conducting a public hearing on the state police, these issues of national border force must be considered. Because we said that, yes, the immigration and the customs carry weapons, and they are the border controls, but they cannot play the role of national border guards, because those are control routes. The customs and immigration stay in the control routes. Criminal elements don't pass those control routes. They pass through the borders at different points. It is only when we have a national border force that will be able to contain these elements. And most of the customs and the immigration, though they carry weapons, but they were not sufficiently trained to confront these criminal gangs. I was in the customs for 2 years before I entered the university, and I know the training given to us was not enough for you to confront these criminal gangs. So these issues must be integrated with the issue of state police. Could the state police also, for the riverine areas like the Niger Delta, also play that role of coast guards? Could the one in the north, the boundary areas, also play the role of the national border force? This will surely help the country. We are not going to debate, and we should not waste our time debating whether we should have state police or not. Listening to the speaker, he gave the history. Even in this country, we operated it before. Why is that the military scrapped it? Because of the abuse. And that is the area we should concentrate on. How do we manage the state police and it will not be abused by state political actors? If state political actors are abusing the state police and using the state police to harass and make life miserable for people who don't belong to their political parties, Could the commander-in-chief sit down and watch, or will he order the military to go and overrun the state police? Of course, that will bring crisis in the country. So the key areas that we have to debate is how do we run the state police vis-a-vis the national security architecture of the country. And these things need to be done carefully. Luckily, there are so many countries that have this. We also experimented it before during the First Republic. And the relevant committee members who travel to this country or understudy them or get it from the Google or read from the literature. Because it is very critical. That is the area we are worried. This matter would have come up even much earlier than now, even when I was in office. But what we were worried was that, look, even in local government elections, even in cosmopolitan states, other parties, if the governor is from party A, you see people in party B and C will win elections as senators, will even win elections as House of Rep, will win some state assembly elections, but they come to local government chairman and councillor, at least no other party wins. It's only the party that produced the governor that will clear all the councillors. It's not possible. So if we're talking about state police, we must also rejig INEC. And the police must not be used against or to the advantage of any political party that by divine providence happens to be the governor of the state. So the issue of the voting, the polling booths of INEC and the use of the police during elections has to be reviewed by the National Assembly. In fact, even the polling units we use for our voting, this is the only country I've visited that have isolated polling units. Most other countries have gone to observe elections. They have polling centers. They take primary school or secondary school. And within that polling center, you may have 5 to 10 polling units within the polling center. I just came back from Senegal, then from Pakistan. You see the police are always at the gate. They don't even go into the compound. They don't go near where voting was taking place. The citizens were also disciplined enough not to behave in a way that will attract the police. We must find a way to make the use of police for electoral purposes very, very limited. Not what we hear today, that security operatives assist in ballot stuffing or snatching or things that way. So the National Assembly need to look into all this. I think these are the areas that we have to concentrate. The issue of the need for states to have their own police is not negotiable. There's no way we can continue this kidnapping that is going on in this country. It is for this commercial kidnapping started about 2006. I don't want to go into that history when I was the governor of Bayelsa State. But it started in the Niger Delta. Now it has been a commercial venture all over the country. And we've not been able to control it. The only thing that can help us, if we cannot stop it completely, but at least to reduce it to the barest minimum, is for states to have their police. And while making the law, sometimes people say, okay, the state police should have limited weapons. The caliber of weapons the police should have in the state should be limited. That is an area that must also be we must be careful with. I'm not expecting states to have rockets, missiles, but the conventional weapons, if you look at the caliber of weapons criminals use, the states must have superior weapons, or at least equal. If you make the states to have weapons that are inferior to the ones that the criminals are using, then you're asking their police to commit suicide in the field. You cannot give your police a weapon that will kill at maybe 50 meters range. Then the criminal has a weapon that will kill 100-meter range. Then you are not doing anything. So we must not even go there in terms of limiting the capacity of the state police. A state that has enough resources must equip the police very well. and that state can also assist other states. I remember in East Southern Africa, you see a country like Rwanda sometimes send their military to assist other countries when they have crisis. So a state that has a little more money and equip the police very well can also send assistance to another state that have major challenges. It's national challenge. And if you don't crush the challenge that state has, those criminal elements will one day come to your state. So wherever it is happening, the states should come together. Locally, the chairman of this governors forum is here, he will speak, can work together. That is the best way we can protect this nation and Nigerians, and everybody has anything to do in Nigeria will live at peace. I thank you all.
Distinguished guests.